What's up, guys? It's Marcus from Perspective Sports, and today we're going to talk about Carmelo Anthony. As you know, Carmelo is the biggest name on the trading block this season, but there's something odd about it. He's the biggest name, he's a household name, a fan favorite, but there's one thing he just doesn't have: trade value. And if you don't believe me, Cleveland didn't even want to initiate negotiations for Melo, according to sources, if Kevin Love was involved. So basically, he'd have to go to the Cavs for anyone except Kyrie, LeBron, and Love, and there's no possible way to make that deal work. So Cleveland effectively said no, thank you. And even if the Cavs were interested in making the deal, it wouldn't make sense for Phil Jackson and the Knicks to acquire K Love when they have Kristaps Porzingis, who seems to be a budding star in this league. Then Jackson dialed up Danny Ainge and the Celtics GM, and Boston really wanted no part. And it's a pretty simple reason why. Carmelo Anthony is a ball stopper, and it's next to impossible to run an offense with Carmelo on the floor that's not in isolation. Don't get me wrong, Melo is one of the best scorers in the game, but if you want to win a championship, you cannot have a player like Carmelo on your roster. Look at the Clippers' power forward, Blake Griffin, for example, another ultra talented player who can score the ball, but they don't win championships because he will kill your offense without you even noticing. With that being said, the Knicks seem determined to trade Carmelo, and apparently and ironically, the Los Angeles Clippers, who have Blake Griffin, are interested, but I'll speak more on that later. As for now, let's discuss Phil Jackson's inability to manage a basketball team. Jackson is obsessed with making his team worse. Let's not forget the day he traded J.R. Smith and Amon Shumpert to the Cleveland Cavaliers. Must I remind you, Cleveland needed a shooting guard badly, and they needed a three-point scorer and a solid defender. Jackson gave them both, and J.R. being the shooter and Amon Shumpert being the solid defender, basically for a bag of chips. In the three-team trade that included Oklahoma City, the Thunder, but their role really wasn't important in this discussion. The Knicks got in return for JR and Shump, Lou Mudson, Alex Kirk, and a 2019 second round from Cleveland, and Lance Thomas from Oklahoma City. The move was made to clear cap space they used to rebuild the Chicago Bulls essentially, trading Robin Lopez, Jose Calderon, and Jarian Grant for Justin Houston, Derrick Rose, and a 2017 second rounder. No real winner in that trade because it's basically a bunch of stuff for a bunch of stuff. Neither team is achieving, and Jackson didn't stop there. He signed former Chicago Bulls center Joakim Noah to a monster 4-year, $72 million deal. Now, Jackson's ineptitude to do his job is going to show again because Clippers head coach slash GM Doc Rivers said he is not willing to give up any of his big three to get Carmelo in LA. So Jackson will be taking Austin Rivers, Jamal Crawford, and Paul Pierce essentially for Carmelo Anthony. Let that set in for a second. The conclusion is simple. Phil Jackson is a great coach. You cannot, he's a great coach, but he is an awful general manager. Now for Melo's fit in LA. Carmelo in LA would be a last ditch effort to save an otherwise failed attempt at a super team. The Clippers have never made it past the second round, ever, even with Chris Paul, Blake Griffin, and DeAndre Jordan. And with Chris Paul and Blake Griffin in their final year of their contracts, Doc will attempt to put another piece around them to help propel them to the next level, which leads me to say I don't think Carmelo can get them past the second round simply because the chemistry won't be there, and they'll face either San Antonio or Golden State. And now let's go back to the simple fact that Blake Griffin and Carmelo Anthony are both notorious ball stoppers. And unless Doc and CP3 can get them committed to running an offense and predetermining who's going to take the final shot, if the situation shall occur where they need one shot for the game, is going to be a problem. And I don't think it's going to work. But overall, Carmelo has basically 1 to 2 potential landing spots, either LA or Boston. We don't really know if Boston is interested in that. But if he is willing to waive his no trade clause, it will be interesting to see the project at LA come together and it will definitely take more than a half a season to build chemistry. So CP3 and Blake would have to re-sign for at least one season in order to see the Big Four at its highest potential. Well, there you guys have it. That's my take on the Carmelo trade rumors. Let me know what you think down below in this comment section.